Shah Deniz is one of the biggest hydrocarbon discoveries made in the 1990s. Lying in the Azerbaijani sector of the Caspian Sea, it has 38 trillion cubic feet of gas and about 2.1 billion barrels of condensate in place.
Back in 1999, it was actually the biggest hydrocarbon discovery that BP has made as an operator since Prudhoe Bay some more than 30 years ago. So this was a very major hydrocarbon discovery, gas and condensate. And it was the first commercial discovery that was made in Azerbaijan under the new oil policy of foreign oil companies participating in the offshore oil and gas development in this country.
In size, it's about 27 kilometers long. It's about 8 kilometers wide. The sand thickness that we penetrate, that's our reservoir, is almost twice as tall as the Eiffel Tower. It is a huge field by anyone's reckoning.
Shah Deniz is a particularly challenging area to drill in. Therefore, an engineering team designed a special drilling and construction scheme for extracting gas from the offshore field. An international consortium of oil companies was established to undertake two large projects aiming to develop the Shah Deniz offshore field, to build an onshore terminal at Sangachal near Baku, and to construct a gas pipeline from Azerbaijan through Georgia to Turkey.
Shah Deniz gas export project is now a $4.3 billion project, of which approximately $3 billion is for the upstream or offshore gas production project, and the other $1 billion is for the South Caucasus gas pipeline, which will run from the terminal to the Georgian-Turkish border.
Shah Deniz gas is an alternative source of energy for both Azerbaijan and Georgia, as well as Turkey. Delivery from the Shah Deniz field is expected to decrease dependence on Russian supplies for the two Caucasus countries. During the stage 1 of the Shah Deniz, 8.5 billion cubic meters of gas will be sold annually. 75% of the production will be exported to Turkey, while remaining volumes will be consumed by Azerbaijan and Georgia. Some of the great advantages of undertaking the gas export project in Azerbaijan are the existence of expertise, fully trained personnel, and advanced construction facilities. Previous and ongoing projects of international scale, such as the Azeri Chirag Güneşli offshore development and the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan oil pipeline, enabled a quick start. The assembly of TPG 500, the Shah Deniz gas platform, is undertaken at Zikh Yard in Baku, where 75% of the workforce is Azerbaijani nationals. Originally, the drilling facilities were constructed in Norway, while the production modules were brought from Singapore through the Turkish Straits and Volga Canal.
The TPG 500 platform is different from what we might call the conventional platforms, which comprise of a jacket which sits on the seabed and modules. This is a jack-up, and the key benefit is that we can build the entire structure, the production modules, the drilling facilities and the legs, all in the same place on the quayside before we actually go out to the gas field. The benefit therefore is that we can have the entire structure, including its support structure, taken out at one time and installed in the gas field very quickly, very simply, without the need for other heavy lift vessels.
The TPG 500 will send gas through a subsea pipeline system to Sangachal terminal. This is the intersection of all major energy projects in Azerbaijan. Construction of the Sangachal expansion program also includes the Shah Deniz area.
It's actually not just Shah Deniz. It's also what we are building is the main compression station for the gas compression pipeline for SCP. This compression station is the only one until Turkey built to give pressure to the gas to flow to Turkey.
The real benefit is the fact that we can actually provide fuel direct to homes, actually. So when you look at gas being supplied into Azerbaijan or into Georgia or into Turkey and beyond, you're actually getting straight to the customer, and that's where the oil is very different to the nature of the oil business is very different to the gas transmission business. And of course, as you point out, the environmental benefits of burning gas versus oil are significant too.
Shah Deniz gas from Sangachal terminal will be exported through a 690-kilometer long pipeline through Azerbaijan and Georgia to Turkey. The South Caucasus gas pipeline shares the same right-of-way with the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan oil pipeline. An extensive social and environmental impact assessment was completed before the construction of the BTC pipeline started. Environmental and social teams are specialized for both pipelines.
The technology between the two pipelines is very, very similar, and part of the synergy behind the project is that the two projects are really learning lessons one from the other, with BTC going first and SCP coming right behind. The two pipelines are for the most part 28 meters apart, going through a common right-of-way, and that distance is determined from design to ensure that nothing that could happen on one pipeline would interfere with the other one.
The shared corridor of SCP and BTC pipelines also brings a number of other benefits. For example, during the reinstatement and biorestoration process.
The main benefit is actually to have a combined working area, which reduces the total footprint for the combined projects. It also allows us to do things like have dual lay construction in certain environmentally sensitive areas such as Mud Volcano Ridge. In this area we could reduce the working width from 44 meters down to 10 meters and have two pipelines constructed at the same time, with reinstatement delivered very quickly after construction was completed.
1, 2, 3.
Extensive environmental and community investment projects are also underway in Azerbaijan and Georgia. These projects aim to leave a lasting legacy of improvement at local levels. They are also committed to demonstrating respect for the natural environment. In both Azerbaijan and Georgia, the community projects have been designed in consultation with local communities and a range of other stakeholders. The projects are carried out in partnership with local and international non-governmental organizations.
On behalf of the IFC and the European Bank.
They are designed to encourage participation and contribution from local communities. The program targets a number of areas such as income generation, infrastructure, health and sanitation, capacity building and agriculture. Currently, Shah Deniz Stage 1 development is progressing according to schedule. System commissioning of the South Caucasus pipeline has started as of the second quarter of 2006. First gas from the Shah Deniz is planned to be delivered to regional markets by the fourth quarter of 2006.
The Stage 1 of Shah Deniz will sell 8.5 billion cubic meters a year, of which 75% of that will go to BOTAŞ in Turkey, about 7% to Georgia, and the remainder into Azerbaijan.
I think it's worth touching upon the significance of the Stage 1 development, because this really, together with the oil development, full field development of Azeri, Chirag and Ganeshli has really formed the basis of what we call the East-West Energy Corridor. And of course this is going to allow Azerbaijan to link itself to Georgia and Turkey and to the Western world.
In terms of the energy supply, it's got the full chances to happen the country to have own industry and economy revived, and it goes to the sociums and just giving them heat for houses, it's energy for the industrial facilities. So I mean, in terms of prospect, it's got quite a big number of direct affection to the communities.
Around 80% of all people working in both the Shah Deniz project and the South Caucasus pipeline are locally recruited and trained up to world standards. Once in operation, revenues from gas sales will be a direct benefit to the Azerbaijan Republic. Transit fees and direct gas sales will make a great contribution to the economic independence and energy security of Georgia. And Turkey, with a growing domestic market and an increasing demand for natural gas, will be able to diversify its energy sources by fostering her link to the East-West Energy Corridor.
In 2006, when the gas starts flowing, we will be accessing Azerbaijan, Georgia and Turkey. Shah Deniz itself is a much larger field than the stage 1 development, so we are looking at additional stages of development. And the gas from that can be sold into the existing markets of Georgia, Azerbaijan and Turkey. But further beyond that, Europe itself will be requiring new supply sources as its market increases, but more fundamentally, the amount of indigenous gas that is actually in Europe declines. And we've seen recently the large amount of increase in sort of LNG imports into Europe. And Shah Deniz itself and Azerbaijan overall could become a very significant supply source into Europe.